Hi, this is Tony Lin. Welcome to my video. CDC has an annual budget about $10 billion. And CDC also has about 10,000 employees nationwide in the United States. Some of you might think CDC is capable of doing the large-scale scientific study, and their studies are trustworthy. Well, hold on that thought for a moment until you finish watching this video. Today, I'm going to share a study from the CDC, and in this study, I'm going to show you exactly how CDC conduct their studies. And also, I'm going to show you the CDC director, Dr. Rochelle Walensky. When she announced the study from her own organization, CDC, publicly, she didn't even read or understand the study she was talking about. So here is the CDC's study. I'll leave the link in my description below. So here is the title of the study. A new CDC study, a vaccination offers higher protection than the previous COVID-19 infection. Even the title is already been proven wrong by other studies. But that is not the focus of our discussion today, because we're going to focus exactly how CDC conduct their studies. Did they follow the science? That is the point of the discussion for today's video. So here is the announcement from the CDC director, Dr. Rochelle Walensky. If you have had COVID-19 before, please still get vaccinated. Say the CDC director, Dr. Rochelle Walensky, this study shows you are twice likely to get infected again if you are unvaccinated. If you click this link, it will show you the detail of this study. Here it says reduce risk of reinfection with SARS-CoV-2 after COVID-19 vaccination. This is a case control study. Case control study is an observational study. They just collect the data and did the analysis. They didn't conduct any trial or experiment. And they collected this data from the state of Kentucky from the May to June of 2021. Here it says a case patient was defined as a Kentucky resident with a laboratory-confirmed SARS-CoV-2 infection in 2020 and a subsequent positive or antigen test result during May 1st to the June 30, 2021. So they are looking at the COVID cases at the time during the May 1st to the June 30 in Kentucky state. However, if you look at the COVID cases in the Kentucky state during this time period, from this graph, you can go to the Google and search COVID data by state. And here you select, and here you can select Kentucky. Here. So after you select Kentucky, and you can see the total cases by day during this entire pandemic. If you look at the time period mentioned in the study, it's a May 1st. May 1st is around here, right? May 1st to the June 30. So June 30 is here. And as you can see, during this entire pandemic in Kentucky, the time period between the May 1st to the June 30, the COVID cases was the lowest at the time. If you are familiar with the case control study, the case control study are prone to the bias. So you have to be very carefully to select your data and time period. And they are picking the time period when the COVID cases was lowest during this entire pandemic. However, if you look at the peak of these COVID cases, they happened around, for example, September 13. You see, This is a much higher COVID cases compared to the May and June. And it was even higher around the January 26, 2022. So if you only select your study time period during the time when the COVID cases was extremely low compared to the COVID outbreak happened in September and January 2022, then your study result from the time period from May to June in 2020 could be very different than the result from the COVID outbreak time period. For example, when there was a COVID outbreak, people tend to stay home and they reduce their social exposure. And behavior like this could contribute to the confounding factors. If your study is based on the time period when the COVID cases was extremely low during the entire pandemic, how could you expect your study's result can also stay true during the time when the COVID cases was extremely high? That is a massive mistake. So the second problem of this study is the sample size. For a trustworthy scientific study, we should make our sample size as large as possible so that we can get credible numbers. Here is the problem of this study. Overall, 246 case patients met eligibility requirements and were successfully matched by age, sex, and the date of initial infection with 492 controls. So as you can see, they did the observational analysis on these couple hundred patients in the Kentucky state. That sample size is really too small. In mathematics, if your denominator is too small, then any small change on your numerator could present a massive change to the result of your study. That is why you should make your sample size as large as possible. However, as you can see, they only select couple hundred people from Kentucky state. And the CDC director, Rochelle Walensky, she used the result of this study from couple hundred people in Kentucky state to convince the entire nation to follow her advice. And even the author of this study, they agree with me. Take a look. Finally, this is a retrospective study design using the data from a single state during a 2-month period. Therefore, this finding cannot be used to infer causation. Let me repeat this again. Therefore, these findings cannot be used to infer causation. Additional prospective studies with larger population are warranted to support these findings. So you need to do other study in order to support these findings. So however, what did Dr. Rochelle Walensky said? Let me repeat again. If you have had COVID-19 before, please still get vaccinated. This study shows you are twice as likely to get infected again if you are unvaccinated. She quoted this study to ask everyone in the United States to follow her advice. However, I seriously suspect Dr. Rochelle Walensky either she didn't even read this study herself or she didn't understand this study at all. There you go. I show you exactly how CDC conduct their study and the CDC director quote her organization's study without even read or understand this CDC study. Before I end this video, there is an article matrix here. you can see a lot of people, they refer to this study from the news website, blogs, a policy document, even policy document. Oh. And as you can see, some policy documents, they even refer to this study. And I hope those are not very important policy documents. If you are interested, you can click that link to find out exactly which policy document they include this study as reference. And also Twitter even have a 9,448 reference. If you click Twitter, let me show you. Some of the people, they tweet this study on their Twitter. This Twitter user Stan, here is what he tweet. This study says the opposite. Why should we think Israel one is right? He was referring to the Israel study that natural immunity provide better protection than the vaccine immunity. However, that study is based on the millions of people. He didn't even read the content of this study. This study is based on a couple hundred people in Kentucky State. These two studies are in two totally different scales. How could you compare these two studies together? And the people just share this misinformation on the Twitter. And of course, his tweet will not be banned for misinformation, because as long as your tweet is supporting the government narrative, and you don't need to worry that your tweet will be banned by the Twitter. However, if you share the truth that is against the government narrative, doesn't matter if it is true, your digital content will be removed by the social media. And here is another, this is I don't know if she is really a doctor. This is a Dr. Katrina Get Vaccinated Green, ND. And she also tweet about this study without saying anything. So if you have a friend or family members, they sincerely believe in CDC's study, or they sincerely believe in Dr. Rochelle Walensky, you can share this CDC study with them and explain to them exactly how CDC conducted their study. Because the big tech censorship, I have to rely on you to hit the like button and share this video with more people. And also, if you haven't done it yet, subscribe to my channel so you can always get the latest update. Thank you for watching today's video. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you soon in my next video. Bye!